Chapter 1: Collision of Giants. The Atlantic Ocean in October 1991 was a deceptive thing. To the untrained eye, it was just another stretch of restless blue, dotted with fishing boats and the occasional tanker cutting through the swells. But beneath that calm surface, something was stirring, a slow, ominous build-up of forestry weather systems, each massive in its own right or converging in a way that had never been seen before. The first was a cold front, a wall of Arctic air plunging southward with the relentless force of a freight train. It carried with it the promise of chaos, a temperature drop so sudden it could freeze a ship's hull in hours. The second was Hurricane Grace, a storm that had already carved the path of destruction through the Caribbean, now weakening but still packing enough fury to fuel the coming disaster. And the third, a low-pressure system off the coast of Nova Scotia, a nameless, shapeless thing that would soon become the heart of the storm. On October 28th, the National Weather Service issued advisories. Unseasonably strong winds, they said, high waves expected. But no one could have predicted what was coming. The cold front slanted. Race and the two systems merged in a violent, swirling dance. The low-pressure system, now caught in the middle, deepened with terrifying speed. Barometric pressure plummeted. Winds that had been gusting at 30 knots suddenly roared to 70, then 80, then higher. Out at sea, the Star Andrea Gale Star, a 72-foot fishing vessel, was caught in the storm's grip. Captain Billy Tyne had been chasing swordfish for weeks, chasing the last big haul of the season. He knew the ocean was unpredictable, but this day was different. The waves weren't just big, they were alive. They rose like mountains, then crashed with the force of 1,000 hammers. The radio crackled with static then. A voice faint, urgent, Mayday, Mayday, this is the Star Andrea Gale Star. We're taking on water. But the storm wasn't done yet. It had grown into something monstrous. A perfect storm, a term that would soon enter the lexicon of disaster. The winds howled like 1,000 banshees, and the sea churned into a frothing, boiling mass. The Star Andrea Gale Star was just one of many ships caught in the maelstrom. The Star Sable Island Star radioed for help, their hull groaning under the strain. The Star Valiant Star sent out a final, desperate call before the signal cut out. On land, meteorologists watched in stunned silence as their models failed to capture the storm's true scale. This wasn't just a storm, it was a collision of giants, a clash of forces that defied prediction. The Star Andrea Gale Star vanished without a trace. The Star Sable Island Star was found adrift, its crew gone. The Star Valiant Star was never recovered. And yet, even as the storm raged, something else was happening. Scientists were watching, learning. This storm-sized perfect storm would force them to rethink everything they knew about weather forecasting. It would lead to better models, faster warnings, a new understanding of how the ocean and the atmosphere could conspire to create something so terrifyingly powerful. But for now, the storm was still raging. The winds still screamed. The waves still rose, higher and higher, as if the ocean itself was trying to reach the sky. And somewhere in that chaos, the Star Andrea Gale Star was gone.